Florence, 1513. Machiavelli is sitting in a cell, hands broken from torture. His crime? Being on the wrong political side. Everything is gone. His reputation destroyed. Friends disappeared. His name erased overnight. And sitting in that darkness, completely alone, he figured something out. Something so uncomfortable that 500 years later, people still don't want to hear it. Today, you're going to learn what Machiavelli understood when everyone turned their back on him, and why depending on other people is the most dangerous thing you can do. Machiavelli wrote The Prince in Exile, broke, alone, forgotten, no one helping him, no connections, no safety net. And from that place, he wrote one of the most influential books on power ever created. Here's what most people miss. He wasn't teaching manipulation, he was teaching survival. What to do when you have nothing left. In this video, you're going to learn why depending on others quietly destroys you, how real strength is built alone, how betrayal becomes fuel, and the one thing that makes you impossible to break. This isn't about being cold. It's about surviving in a world that will drop you the second you show weakness. Why people will abandon you. Machiavelli was doing very well. He had an important job. He was connected, respected, protected. He had friends, peers, and mentors. He had a bright future. Then, the Medici family takes power, and overnight, everyone vanishes. Friends pretended they didn't know him. Mentors looked the other way. And allies, they disappeared. That's when Machiavelli learned something most people never accept. Your support system only exists when it's convenient for them. Just look at your own life. Co-workers will cheer as you climb the corporate ladder, then sell you out for a promotion of their own. Friends act like they're happy when you're doing better than them. They celebrate your success, then quietly fade when you struggle, nowhere to be found when you need them. Family gives advice from comfort and judges you when you take risks. Society wants you to fit in and punishes you when you don't. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are simple and follow their immediate needs. Whoever wants to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived." But here's the darker part. You're not just being misled by others. You're lying to yourself by believing in them. Nobody is coming to save you. Once Machiavelli lost everything, he realized this. When you have no support, you have no leverage, only yourself. Think about the difference. The person who needs support, needs permission, fears judgment, falls apart when abandoned, adjusts the truth to belong. One betrayal breaks them. The person who needs no one acts freely, expects nothing, says what's true, gets sharper after betrayal. Machiavelli wrote The Prince for Lorenzo de' Medici, the same man who had him tortured. Why? Because he didn't need approval anymore. He wrote because he had something to say. Every successful person hits this moment when your support system becomes a cage. Family says, "Be realistic." Friends say, "You're changing." Society says, "Who do you think you are?" Translation, stay small, stay familiar, stay controllable. You have two choices. Choice 1, keep support, shrink your ambition, build a life others approve of. Choice 2, accept being alone, build quietly, rise without permission. Machiavelli chose the second. He died knowing the prince would outlive everyone who abandoned him. He was right. How to build real self-reliance. Let's talk about how this actually works. Machiavelli didn't just talk philosophy, he gave us a system. Part 1. Build useful skills. Machiavelli said you can judge a leader by the people around him. Most people misunderstand this. It doesn't mean hire talented people. It means this: a leader who needs others is weak. A leader who can stand alone and chooses collaboration is strong. Big difference. Weak says, I need you. Strong says, I can do this. You just make it better. Every few months, ask yourself, if everyone disappeared tomorrow, what could I still do? What am I depending on others for? Where am I exposed? Then close those gaps. Learn the skills. You don't need to do everything yourself. You just need to be capable of it. Machiavelli said, "Nothing great was ever done without danger. The danger isn't risk. The danger is dependency." Part 2. Control your money. Machiavelli lived poor at the end of his life, but he understood this clearly. Money you control is freedom. Money others control is a leash. A salary means someone decides your value. Investors decide your direction. Family money decides your options. Assistance decides your limits. Whoever pays you owns leverage over you. Here's the system. First, save enough to say no. 6 to 12 months of expenses. Not for comfort, for freedom. Second, never rely on one source. Things change overnight. Third, build independence money, enough that opinions lose their power. The prince was Machiavelli's independence. He couldn't be threatened. He already lost everything. That's freedom. Part 3. Stop needing approval. This is the hardest one. Most people don't like this part. Machiavelli spent years alone. Most would break. He didn't, because he stopped outsourcing his identity. Look around today. Likes replace self-worth. Titles replace meaning. Relationships replace wholeness. Each one becomes a quiet dependency. When Machiavelli was exiled, he stopped asking, "How do I get back in? Who can help me? What do they think?" He started asking, "What's true? What can I build alone? Who am I without approval?" Try this for 30 days. Build without posting. Decide without explaining. Win without witnesses. It'll feel uncomfortable. That's the point. By the end, you'll realize you don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need commitment to yourself. Part 4. Guard your information. Here's something Machiavelli understood that most people completely ignore. Your plans are not safe in other people's mouths. When Machiavelli was in power, he watched information destroy careers. A whispered rumor, a leaked strategy, a confession shared with the wrong friend. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This wasn't advice about lying. It was advice about strategic silence. Most people do the opposite. They overshare. They announce goals before they've started. They vent frustrations to anyone who will listen. They treat transparency like a virtue, even when it's a vulnerability. But here's what happens when you share too much. Your plans become public property. The moment you tell someone your goal, you've handed them ammunition. Not because they're evil, but because people talk, they compare, they judge. And sometimes, consciously or not, they sabotage. Visibility is vulnerability. The more people know about your situation, your plans, the more leverage they have. And in a world where loyalty is conditional, leverage is dangerous. So here's the principle. Move in silence. Let results make the noise. This doesn't mean lie. It doesn't mean isolate. It means this. Be selective about what you share and with whom. Ask yourself before you speak. Does this person need to know this? What could go wrong if this spreads? Am I sharing for strategy or for validation? That last question is the real test. Most oversharing isn't strategic. It's emotional. We share because we want approval, connection, excitement. But Machiavelli didn't write The Prince and announce it to Florence. He wrote it quietly, in exile, alone, and only revealed it when it served a purpose. Here's a practical system. Level 1 information. Share freely. Surface level stuff. Weather talk, general opinions. Nothing that can be used against you. Level 2 information. Share selectively. Your goals, your struggles, your plans. Only with people who have earned trust through action, not words. Level 3 information. Guard completely. Your deepest fears, your financial details, your true strategy. This stays with you, or maybe one person you'd trust with your life. Most people dump Level 3 information on Level 1 acquaintances, then wonder why they feel exposed. Machiavelli learned this the hard way. The people who knew his strategies used them against him when the winds shifted. So build quietly. Move strategically. Let them wonder what you're doing, because in a world full of noise, silence is power. Turn betrayal into strength. Machiavelli didn't resent abandonment. He used it. It's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both. This isn't cruelty. It's realism. Love is emotional. Respect is predictable. So don't build on affection. Don't build on promises. Don't build on loyalty. Build on skills, reputation, independence. When betrayal happens, most people react emotionally. Victimhood, revenge, explanation, weak responses. Here's the Machiavellian response. Expect it. Learn from it. Move quietly. Never announce your comeback. Machiavelli didn't attack his enemies. He outlasted them. And here's the irony. People respect you more when you don't need them. The person who stands alone is the hardest to control. Conclusion. Machiavelli's lesson wasn't about being heartless. It was about understanding reality. Support fades. Systems shift. People protect themselves. Self-reliance endures. Build skills. Control your money. Break the need for approval. And move in silence. When you do these things, you become untouchable. Not isolated, but selective. Machiavelli died alone in a farmhouse. The rulers who used him, forgotten. The friends who abandoned him, gone. But his words shaped centuries, because he learned this. When you need nothing from anyone, you become impossible to control. That isn't loneliness, that's freedom. Your success does not need their approval. You are doing better than you think. Never forget that. Now drop a comment below and tell me which of these points hits the hardest. I read every single comment. And hit that subscribe button to catch the next secret to your own success. I will see you in the next video. Keep growing. Keep moving. In silence.